Welcome to this explainer. Okay, we're skipping the usual boring listicles today. Instead, we're going to see if your rig and, let's be honest, your wallet can actually survive the June 2026 gaming lineup. I mean, we're looking at a month that is officially designed to just absolutely push the boundaries of technology and put your systems under extreme stress.
So I gotta challenge you right off the bat here. Is your rig truly ready for June 2026? Like, are you actually prepared to render real-time path tracing for these new $69 masterpieces? Or are we gonna start smelling burning GPUs in your room? Seriously, it's a valid question. The technical demands we're seeing this month are literally unlike anything we've encountered in previous cycles.
Let's map out exactly what kind of technological threats your hardware is about to face. Today, we're covering 1. PC Titans and Neural AI. 2. Next-gen physics and combat. 3. Handheld architectural miracles. 4. The 2026 VR revolution. And finally, 5. Massive mobile MMOs.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, PC Titans and Neural AI. Let's look at the heavy hitters that are putting an absolute stranglehold on modern CPUs.
We are officially entering the era of reactive AI. We're talking about neural networks that dynamically learn from your behaviors to adapt their tactics. Take the highly anticipated Cyberpunk Project Orion, for example. CD Projekt Red's full transition to Unreal Engine 5 means pedestrian AI is no longer just running on some basic pre-baked scripts. The NCPD actually uses this neural tech to actively learn from your actions. If you always favor a specific getaway route, the system learns it and literally sets up predictive roadblocks ahead of you. Oh, and you're even interacting with a fully functional Linux terminal for deep net hacking now, which is just wild.
And it's super fascinating how this transforms a game like the Gothic 1 remake. You know, in the classic version, NPCs just had these simple pre-programmed daily routines. But now, Alchemia Interactive has implemented real neural network decision-making. That means scavengers will literally strike with bolder tactics if they see you walking around unarmed. Characters will argue, work, and dynamically react to your reputation in a world that genuinely feels like it's breathing.
But here is the crucial point. This seamless ecosystem simulation, it will absolutely crush older hardware because it relies heavily on Unreal Engine 5's world partition system on Gen 4 NVMe SSDs. You need serious processing power. We're talking at least an Intel 13th Gen i5 or a Ryzen 7000 series. If you're running anything below that, expect your frame rate to just absolutely tank in the old camp. Your CPU will bottleneck hard trying to calculate all those neural decisions at once, unless, you proactively tweak those crowd density and vegetation settings to survive.
Moving right along to Section 2, Next-Gen Physics and Combat. Let's see how this builds into an era where pre-baked animations are completely dead. 8,000. Let that sink in. That is the staggering number of brand new motion capture frames Slowclap recorded with actual grandmasters for Sifu 2. They didn't just casually add new moves here. They completely rebuilt the entire foundation of the combat system from the ground up.
And just look at how this changes the game. Sifu 2 features this insane biomechanical aging algorithm. When you hit age 60, the actual physics code shifts. Your center of gravity physically drops. Your strikes slow down, but their impact damage multiplies exponentially. Deflecting a light staff has a totally different timing than parrying a heavy sledgehammer. And get this, a 0.1 second miscalculation will shatter your structure gauge, complete with horrifying binaural 3D bone-crunching sound design. Yikes.
And this physics evolution, it's happening everywhere, which brilliantly illustrates the immense CPU and GPU processing milestones we're hitting. In Hell Let Loose Vietnam running on Unreal Engine 5's chaos physics, you get microscopic foliage destruction and bullet penetration with 100 players. For UFC 6 on Frostbite 4.0, they're simulating dynamic muscles and fluid dynamics, calculating the path of sweat and blood based on gravity and skin distortion, and Copa City, using Unity 2026's DOTS architecture, it's managing real-time traffic AI pathfinding for literally tens of thousands of fans on Derby Day. Just massive scale.
All right, Section 3. Handheld architectural miracles. It's not just massive PC rigs putting in the work. Let's look at the incredible optimizations happening right in the palm of your hands. When Square Enix announced they were porting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to the Switch 2, people kinda laughed. But they actually pulled it off. They utilized the Switch 2's unified memory architecture to seamlessly adapt this 150GB behemoth,
Combined with advanced Oodle Kraken texture compression and Nintendo's proprietary AI upscaling, which is pretty similar to DLSS, they even achieve 4K output in docked mode just by drastically boosting those GPU frequencies.
Nintendo is also pushing their new custom NVIDIA SoC to the absolute limit. Star Fox Galactic Return is no longer just an on-rails shooter. Thanks to machine learning, enemy pilots actively learn to predict and bomb your evasion trajectories. If you rely on a barrel roll too much, they will figure it out. Plus, you have to manually play minigames to cool down your thermal lasers mid-dogfight. It's intense.
Next up, Section 4, the 2026 VR Revolution. Leaving handhelds behind, it is time to talk about how VR hardware is being pushed to its absolute thermal limits.
The VR market is exploding, and these headsets are seriously sweating. The boys' trigger warning maxes out the PSVR 2 at a blistering 95% processing load just for dynamic shadows. Meanwhile, Downtown Club pushes the Meta Quest 3 right to its thermal edge, sitting at an 88% load just to render 120 Hz tire friction and suspension physics.
And speaking of the boys, trigger warning. This is a terrifyingly accurate use of console-tethered hardware. It uses highly accurate eye tracking so you can literally stare at a target and fire Homelander's laser eyes directly at it. As you do, the headset's haptic feedback gently vibrates to mimic the radiating heat around your eyes. It puts you directly inside a visceral, high-stakes sensory experience.
Now, if you need a break from all that AAA madness, check out this incredible tech called audio ray tracing. This is a rendering technique where sound waves physically bounce off in-game geometry, creating distinct reverberations based on materials like metal or concrete. The indie cyberpunk horror game Hollow Body actually uses this, so you can pinpoint a monster's exact location simply by listening to the echo of its footsteps changing as it walks down a hall. So cool, right?
And finally, Section 5, Massive Mobile MMOs. Let's explore how mobile gaming has officially evolved past simple clickers into full-blown, device-melting behemoths.
The era of isolated mobile servers is completely over. We are now looking at a unified PC and mobile cross-progression architecture. Guild Wars Reforged uses a massive Kubernetes server infrastructure connecting Steam clients and mobile apps through AWS cloud servers and NoSQL databases to sync data in fractions of a second. This pipeline puts mobile players on the exact same cloud servers as PC players.
But hey, major battery warning here. There is a massive catch. Rendering those massive 50 versus 50 world versus world battles on a phone forces continuous positional updates. Even with a dynamic, AI-driven level of detail system downgrading distant armor to keep things at 60 frames per second, this architecture will demolish your battery life. We're talking about draining a heavy-duty 5,000 mAh battery in under 2.5 hours.
And then we have RF Online Next, which is basically a mobile engineering miracle. Netmarble managed to deliver full Unreal Engine 5 mech warfare, utilize advanced texture compression, and keep the total install size under 15 gigabytes. They literally crammed laser lighting and mech reflections that rival modern console games right into your pocket.
So, as you stare down this gauntlet of technological leaps and those steep $69 price tags, I have to ask, where are you investing your upgrade budget to survive this month? Between the neural AI melting your CPU, VR pushing your headset to its thermal limits, and mobile MMOs eating your battery alive, which piece of your hardware needs an upgrade the most? Think about it and prepare your rig for the storm. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.